on this episode of Live to Farm.
My favorite way to eat a watermelon, crack that baby open, scoop out the heart.
This is what you call a pole barn flower shop.
The heart of every good farm, there's a woman.
What's really cool is our product feeds the native biology that you already find in your soil.
Hello everyone and welcome to our family farm here in Kentucky. My name is Grayce and I'm the 8th generation of Emick Farms, and this is my dad Dan, who is the 7th generation. I have with me today my little sister. She's like my partner in crime. Usually if I'm in a piece of equipment, she's in the buddy seat.
Yeah.
My nephew Miles, maybe the 9th generation. And then we have my mom, who's call her if we need a ride, need some food. She's the one. So let's go, everybody!
My God, we're making corn.
All of our corn is decaf. This is actually looking like some of our better corn, which is good for me. I have 5 brothers and 2 sisters. The rest of my siblings didn't pick up on the farm like I did. My dad cares more about his kids than he does the farm, and I feel like that's how it should be. He gave us all the same opportunity, and if we picked it up, we picked it up, and if not, it was okay. I drove the combine for the first time, and from that point on, I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and it was this. When I was 14, I started running this by myself while Dad was at work. At 15, I started renting my own ground. Being out here, hands-on experience was the way to go. And just to make ends meet, I started welding. I was also doing social media on the side, so I was building the social media business while being a full-time welder, working 40 to 50 hours a week, and then doing this after I get off work. So my daily routine at that time was go to work at the shop, come home and do this, go home and edit all night, do it all again the next day. When my first YouTube paycheck was more than what I made at the shop, I put my 2 weeks in. I haven't looked back since, and I always have fun. I'm making money while I'm doing it. It's just been a dream. And to be able to do it alongside my dad is the coolest thing in the world. And he's been so supportive, not only of the farming, but like the YouTube stuff. He actually bought me my first GoPro. So my mom is a teacher. I don't know how she managed to get anything done with all us little rugrats running around. She did it, super mom, to say the least. It was actually in high school I got the nickname Farmer Grayce. I just kind of put it on my Instagram as a joke because that's what everybody called me. And then I had a couple videos go viral and went from 8,000 to 60,000. Any social media platform you can imagine, I'm on it. My content is, I try to keep it funny and inspiring kind of, but there are some moments where I get really down to earth. There's no reason to glamorize the idea of farming because it's not always glamorous, it's just the way that it is. So with social media especially, it's a wide variety of hateful comments, but the one I've been getting a lot of recently, which I was very confused and shocked about, is a lot of people think it's a green screen.
Mom says you missed one.
Well, it's the grain cart operator's fault always. Run it over. But I've definitely been opened up more to people being sexist since I've been on social media, because I don't really experience that around here. My advice to a young girl would be, if you want to be out here, you deserve to be out here. If you have to get a job on a different farm, if your dad's not going to let you, like, you do what you have to do to get started in this business because it's so worth it. There's so many women doing it, and we're really shattering the glass ceiling, and it's very rare that I see a successful farming operation that doesn't have a woman. The heart of every good farm is there's a woman. Girls just want to have farms.
Hi, my name's Susie Cardinal. I am the mom of everybody here on the farm, or my boys and my husband. I even the mom of him too. I have this flower shop, Pedal Pushers, that I started in 2018. I really have been doing flowers since 1998. I am getting ready to retire in June, so I'd like to show you what I've got. This is what you call a pole barn flower shop. I'm like 4 miles off the main highway, but we get delivery trucks from Indianapolis that will deliver out here, and we have found out that 95% of our business is by phone call. I live right across the driveway, but I'm handing it over to a good person that really needs the opportunity. We've got lanterns, plants, all kinds of baskets and vases, silk flowers. We're working on a lot of memorial items right now. We do a lot of funeral work, weddings, everyday stuff, about anything you'd want. And we can get things in probably in a day to 2 days time if you want something special. We do most of our business in Sullivan County, but we do funeral homes in both Knox and Sullivan County. Here is the cooler. So we've got carnations and lilies and roses, mini roses, wildflower looking stuff, greenery, we got it all. It's been going on for a while, but it's time to pass it on.
Harvest time, baby. I think I'm gonna have my mom come ride with me for a little bit. I'm gonna put her to the test. What made you decide to have 8 kids?
I always wanted a sister, so I knew that if I had a daughter, I had to have another girl. Then I had you, and you and Kristen were sisters, and then Dylan needed a brother, but then I just wanted a big family. I love that you all have each other in life. Also, people used to joke around that your father needed help on the farm, so he was just having a lot of kids.
Having a lot of kids. That kind of backfired, didn't it?
I know. But nobody was helping.
How did you go through school to be a teacher while still raising all of us kids?
I went back to school because I knew that if something happened to your dad, I would need to be able to take care of the family. I had a lot of kids. So I did a lot online at first. That allowed me to still go to all your games, competitions, and then when everybody was in bed, I could work on schoolwork. Once Wyatt and Hayden started preschool, I was able to go full-time because my mom and papa would pick them up from school sometimes. And then when they were in school full-time, I was able to go all day, every day. I wanted y'all to be proud of your mom.
We are proud of you. We're only about an hour south of our good friends, the Cobbs, Kevin and Sean Cobb, and I've been up there a few times. They're a fun group of people to hang out with, them and their kids, and it's always a good time, good people. Hoping that soon we can get back up there to make a visit. But I'm looking forward to working with Kevin in better practices for both of our farms, and I think it'll be beneficial for both of us, and I don't know, maybe Kevin will be our secret weapon to beat him.
Hello everybody, we're in the middle of August. I'm here with Cassidy from FICO Terra. We did a test plot. Cassie, could you kind of explain more what's into it?
What's really cool is our product feeds the native biology that you already find in your soil. So we're not adding any live biology in there, but we're just leveraging what you already have present in the soil. So how we do that is we feed them what's called microalgae. So really small single-celled plant-like organisms that feed that native biology. So we're gonna go out and take a look and see if we can see a difference between where we put that in furrow versus an untreated control.
Correct me if I'm wrong or right, hopefully I'm right, but this is not kind of you put it on one time and you got to keep making multiple applications, or is it a one time and you should see most of the season benefit throughout the whole growing season?
We have 2 different options. So you can go out on your seed coat, do a coating on your seed coat, and then we would recommend coming back and doing again an in-furrow application. But you don't need to come back with a row crop corn beans and do multiple applications through a season. We really see great results from that one application there at the beginning, because you know that critical time right there, that first few months to get that seed established and out of the ground, that's really where we're focusing on, and that's where we see the biggest bang for your buck.
Awesome. Cassie, you ready to go dig some up and see what we find?
Yeah, absolutely.
This here, what we're walking on, this is a little bit more sand here, because right there's the river. When the river gets out, it drops off. Then you get up here on a little bit higher up here, the ground becomes a little bit more solid here. Yep, this is it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna see, well, Cassie would know more. We should see a little bit more of a root mass.
Yep, we should see an increased root mass, and then really in general, hopefully we're gonna see some more other improved agronomic traits from, you know, stem diameter. We're gonna cut them apart, look at the ears and see what else we can see, any benefits from that. When were we out here earlier this year, Kevin?
It wasn't V10 yet, was it?
I don't think so.
But you can see a big difference
then. The clear line then, in height, number of insects we saw too, feeding on each side of the crop, which is indicative of a healthier crop when you have less insect feeding, so it's pretty cool to see.
Tar spot, what they say, once you get it, it stays, it's a soil-borne, cold weather don't kill it. Where southern rust, correct me if I'm wrong, but it can't overwinter in cold climate.
Rust is a difficult disease because it usually has multiple spore types and then overwinters on multiple crops. Like it actually can transmit to different crops, so that's how it kind of spreads. Tar spot can be blown into by wind wind. So if another farm does have it, the spores can be carried over through wind, rain, etc. And once you get it, if you get severe case, it's devastating. Wipe out.
Basically, if you got it, you're pretty well screwed.
Yeah.
I
if
mean,
you don't have a resistant variety,
yeah.
And it's hard to spray with fungicide. Latent period, so how long it takes to actually show up is really long.
Yeah. But that's what you call smelling healthy soil. It gives off a good smell to it. Some of the stuff that don't have really good biology will smell stale. I guess that's what you'd call it. But
A teaspoon of soil has 1 billion bacteria and 1 million fungi.
it's crazy.
There's both soil traits we look at and then also the plant traits. So from the soil side, like we were showing you how easy that soil was to dig up, that's one great sign that your microbes are going to work. And that's also a great sign that we're feeding that microbial population because they're critical in helping that decompaction. So that's one thing we look for. And then on the plant side, root mass. We really usually see an increased root mass, and then in turn you're getting more nutrients to the plant. So when we came out here earlier in the year, like we could clearly see that the treated side of the corn was greener, and that is a sign of more photosynthesis happening, so more carbs and food going to the plant, and then also it was taller. It's almost like getting a stage above the other crop, so you're getting a chance to get more yield out of that. So what we're gonna look at is number one, our root mass, and then also we're gonna cut the plant apart, see if we see any difference in how thick that stem is, because that's important like when those wind and rain events to keep it sturdy and up. And then also look at the ear length and then rows around to see if we can see if there might be a chance of increasing yield, of which we usually see with this type of application. We are looking here at both the root mass and then also the ear development on our treated here, the Phycoterra side, and the untreated. So what we saw is that overall we're seeing a larger root mass. It looks like the roots are able to penetrate deeper into the soil as well, which is important when we're taking up nutrients, but also to access more water. So that's really important when we're going into like a drought situations. So hopefully that means we can get more nutrient uptake, and then also we're looking at the whole total ear weight to see if that can correlate to yield. But in the end, you know, right now I think Kevin's betting on Phycoterra to get a more yield, but we'll see here when it comes harvest time.
So this is what we don't want to see. So you see down here, alive, living, so your nutrients are flowing up from the roots up through that up to the ear leaf. So right here is where we call this the filter system. You see how it's kind of brown? You can already see ain't near the highway carrying nutrients in this stalk.
What he's showing you is the same thing that you as a homeowner will see in your plants in the garden or your plants outside. If you have a sickly looking plant and you say, well, let me find out what's really going on, you cut it off, open the stalk up, and you'll see if it's able to flow nutrients up and down in its system. And if it's not, that means it's sick, it's got a disease, you need to treat it. Put some of Monty's plant food on it will help more than anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, clearly by size, if you just see the difference between these two versus that. And so it's called xylem and phloem. That's what is moving those nutrients up and down the plant, where your phloem is the food. So nutrients, right? Phloem, food. So the more of that you see and the wider that is, the more possibility you have to transport that water and nutrients to the top of the plant. And we want it to go to the top because that's where the ear is, right? When you get this late in the season and you're looking at something that we applied at the very beginning, it's super hard to see visually differences. To really see something measurable, you have to do into these more deep digs and deep dives into the plants to really see, you know, what treatment effects you're having.
We're going to give you a little bit of a tour today.
Where you're standing right now, this has been in the family since 1813. There's still two Emmicks that farm here. There's our family and then our cousins up the road here, but we've been going at it for 209 years. Some of this old equipment in this shed here, well, everything in here, either my dad or my granddad or great-granddad bought new. So some of it's pretty old. This is an L case. I'm not sure on the year, but it's somewhere around 1931. I think that's about the smallest crawler tractor Caterpillar ever made. Pretty unique little tractor. This home was built by my great-great-great-grandfather, George Emick, in 1854. They formed and fired the bricks here on the farm. Yeah, it's been in the family for 168 years. This is the oldest standing structure still on the original farm.
Multi-generational farms are hard to come by, especially 8 generations. Having all this stuff is cool, and it's a daily reminder of the legacy that we're carrying on. I like to think of it as a working museum. That's what I like to call it.
this is the shed. During melon season, we have the packing shed, and then this is basically the shipping storage shed. Due to traceability, all the bins have to have their own specific barcode. They can trace it back to our farm, but we can trace it back to the field it was in. That's for food safety. Brandon will probably kick my butt if I don't get this right, but these are the 45 counts, so there's 45 watermelons in one bin. So that's like a medium-sized watermelon. We store all our paper over here, which is our cardboard boxes and lids. This is what Quade won Grand Champion this year on at the fair. One year for Thanksgiving, Brandon was like, we ought to do a watermelon recipe. I'm like, dude, watermelon in November? We never buy a watermelon at the store. So he got this recipe out of, I don't even know where, but it was watermelon chutney. And he was like, all for it, let's make it. So we buy this watermelon at the store and he can't believe the price of it. Oh my God. He makes it and it tastes so bad. I can't even remember if we took it to his grandma's house. We probably did, like, just to show everybody how horrible it was, but it was a flop. Watermelon chutney, out. Not good. My favorite way to eat a watermelon, and this is because I'm a snob and I live on a watermelon farm, crack that baby open and you just scoop out the heart. Just eat the heart. The heart of the watermelon, it's the center of the watermelon. It's like the juiciest. And then I just give the rest to whoever wants it. Brandon went to go check one of our fields yesterday, watermelon fields, and there's a pepper plant out in the middle of it with all of these peppers on it. Look at these huge peppers. I mean, it was a super awesome pepper plant. It was just like waiting to be picked, he said. It was just punched over. So yeah, he brought home all of these. It was great. From the greenhouse we have the plants grown at, they just accidentally mixed up a pepper plant in it, and we've been fertilizing it and spraying it, and it's really been happy. So Suze has a recipe, stuffed peppers. We're gonna make stuffed peppers with our magic pepper plant that we found.
Okay, next we're gonna go check out our Morton building, which is where we keep most of our equipment, so it's pretty vital to the farm. So let's go see what we got hidden in there.
Yeah, this is where we house most of our equipment, not all of it. When we get finished, we'll get everything in here that we can fit. I have mental health issues. I just don't throw anything away.
Hoarder.
I come from a long line of them. This is a boiler. 30 years ago, we raised tobacco here. In order to sterilize the soil, they steamed the ground for 45 minutes. That's what they used those for. They had the steam whistle on it. When me and my brothers were kids, we'd blow those damn whistles, and Papa would get mad because it was wasting steam.
With corn, when you haul it in, you're having to dump it into this huge pile, and these piles are, how big would you say?
Well, the one pile that's 1.2 million bushels, if they keep it very long, normally the loss is pretty high in it. Grain storage is very important, especially this year because the Mississippi River, I don't know if it's at all-time low levels, but it's the lowest it's been in my lifetime, and they're having trouble transporting grain to the ocean-going vessels in New Orleans to load to go overseas. Until we get substantial rain in the tributaries leading to the Mississippi River, it's going to be bad. Our local grain elevator, all of them in our area, they're closed this weekend. I've never seen that happen this time of year. You know, our inland waterways are vital to our economy, not just the farm economy, but the entire United States economy, because so many of our products travel on our inland waterways. Let's hope that our leaders in Washington do everything they can to ensure the longevity of our inland waterway system. It'd be nice if they'd quit playing politics and get something done.
Well, I get a lot of messages from young girls who are looking for advice from me because their father doesn't want them to be on the farm. I didn't even really realize how lucky I was to have such a supporting dad.
Not just me, my dad, my dad's sister, my brother, everybody has supported her. Nobody's held her back. You know, she has 7 brothers and sisters. When they were all little, I would bring them out here and they'd tag along with me all day long. But you know, she's the only one it's stuck with. You know, they all had the same opportunity. I'm tickled to death she's out here, but if she was out here because she thought that's what I wanted, disappointed. That would be a big disappointment. I just want her and all my other children to be happy. And I want them to do what they want to do, not because they think that's what I want them to do. It doesn't matter. You know, everybody's got to live their own life. If this is what she wants to do, I'll support her any way I can. If one of my boys wants to be a custodian, hey, that's great. Just be the best one you can be. That's all I ask, is just do better today than you did yesterday and be happy. Life's too short to be unhappy.
Working alongside my dad is one of my biggest blessings in life, I think. It's my best friend. Hopefully there's a whole bunch more generations. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us. It was a pleasure having you, and I can't wait for you guys to be back.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my